I'm sorry to report to my fellow Vermonters that Trump Care is back from the dead. And once again, it's a great threat to the people of our state. And it's an urgent threat because they're trying to rush Trump Care through without you or anybody else even knowing what's in it. Now, incredibly enough, this latest Trump Care bill is even harsher and fuzzier than the earlier versions. It's actually the worst yet, and hits states like our state of Vermont the hardest of all. They want to make drastic and dangerous changes to our healthcare system. They're going to mean millions of Americans and thousands of Vermonters will lose their health insurance. It'll allow insurance companies to charge more for coverage. That especially means seniors, those with disabilities, those with pre-existing conditions, and women could pay more. These are all discriminatory policies that the Affordable Care Act changed. Now, states like Vermont have done the right thing. Because of Vermont's Medicaid expansion, thousands of Vermonters now have real access to life-saving health care. Let's talk about what it really means to real people. I'm hearing from very worried Vermonters all over our state. Let me tell you a couple of those. Mandy from Burlington says, I'm an advocate for the community of individuals impacted by celiac disease, the most common genetic autoimmune disease in the world. Thank you for rejecting Graham Cassidy and pursuing common sense reforms to the Affordable Care Act. My medical bills are high enough as it is. I don't need to be punished for having an inherited disease. Or Glenn, whose parents live in Newbury, told me about their health, saying a couple of years ago, due to a fall and a serious fracture in her neck, my mother ended up hospitalized for 2 months. Then she ended up in a nursing home. She was unable to walk. She could barely use her hands and arms. After almost a year of exhaustive physical therapy and driven to return to her Vermont home of 43 years, she was able to accomplish this goal. And you know why? Because of choices for care, long-term Medicaid. That's something Trump Care would get rid of. Allison in Brattleboro. About a year ago, I got a migraine. It never went away. Instead, it got worse and worse and turned into what's called a hemiplegic migraine. These migraines look and feel like strokes, but are, quote, just migraines. I started having seizures soon after that. They'd later be diagnosed as psychogenic non-epileptic seizures. I've also had rheumatoid arthritis for 5 years. The saving grace in all of this has been Medicaid, made available to me through the Obamacare Medicaid expansion. I could fill my prescription without worry. I could continue to walk around, look after my kids. I could try to get better. Without these things, I wouldn't be able to care for my children or work even a little bit. I would likely die young. Instead of making it through, spending time with my children and healing. These are real stories. These are real Vermonters. These are real lives. That's why this fight matters so much to every one of us.